The lecture hall fell silent as Commander Zexhai displayed the holographic image of the creature. 8 feet of rippling muscle, razor-sharp claws, and predatory intelligence gleamed from eyes that seemed to track every movement in the room. The assembled cadets from across the galaxy shifted uncomfortably in their seats. "The apex hunter of Kepler 442b, Commander Zexhai announced, his 4 arms gesturing at the projection. Responsible for the complete evacuation of 3 colonies. Survival rate when encountered, 12%. They hunt in coordinated packs, show tactical awareness, and have been known to set traps for starships." James Chen leaned forward in his seat, studying the creature with academic interest. As one of only 2 humans in the Galactic Defense Academy, he'd grown accustomed to being an oddity among his classmates. Beside him, Liza Martinez seemed completely relaxed, almost bored. "These predators," the commander continued, "represent the pinnacle of evolutionary killing machines. Their homeworld has been classified as a Category 9 death world, the highest rating possible. No sentient species has ever successfully established a permanent presence there." A Thraxian cadet, his blue chitinous shell gleaming under the lights, raised one of his 6 arms. "Commander, what protocol should we follow if we encounter one during deep space patrol?" "Immediate retreat," Commander Zexhai replied without hesitation. "Do not engage. Do not attempt rescue operations. Alert the nearest battlecruiser and maintain maximum distance. These creatures have been known to survive in vacuum for limited periods and have actually attacked spacecraft." Murmurs of fear rippled through the diverse group of cadets. The Vegan delegates huddled closer together, their crystalline forms chiming softly in distress. Even the usually stoic Drakmari looked unsettled. That's when Liza raised her hand. "Commander Zexhai," paused mid-sentence. "Yes, Cadet Martinez? My family kept 3 of those as pets when I was growing up," she said matter-of-factly. The lecture hall erupted in chaos. Shocked gasps, panicked chittering, and the sound of several cadets falling from their anti-grav seats filled the air. Commander Zexhai's usually composed demeanor cracked, his mandibles clicking rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among his species. That's impossible," he stammered. "You must be mistaken about the species. Rex, Luna, and Bear," Liza continued, counting on her fingers. "Rex was the alpha, about 9 feet tall when he stood on his hind legs. Luna was the smallest but the smartest. She figured out how to open doors. And Bear was just a big softy who loved belly rubs." James couldn't help but grin. He'd heard Liza's stories about her childhood, but seeing the effect on their alien classmates was priceless. The Thraxian who had asked the earlier question was now a sickly yellow color, his carapace trembling. "Cadet Martinez," Commander Zexhai said slowly, "are you claiming that your family domesticated apex hunters?" "Well, not exactly domesticated," Liza shrugged. "More like we were pack members. My dad found Rex as an injured pup during a survey mission. Mom patched him up and he just never left. The others showed up later. Dad always said they chose us more than we chose them." A Altarian cadet, her bioluminescent patches flickering in distress patterns, whispered, "But the colonies, the deaths?" Liza's expression grew more serious. "Yeah, that happens when people treat them like monsters instead of the intelligent pack animals they are. You go in with weapons blazing, showing fear and aggression, they'll respond accordingly. But if you approach them with respect, understand their social structure." She paused, looking around the room. "My little sister used to nap between Rex and Luna during summer afternoons." Commander Zexhai sat down heavily, which was unusual for his species. "The tactical reports, the coordinated attacks, the trap-setting behavior. Pack hunting strategies," James interjected, finally understanding. "They weren't being unusually aggressive, they were being protective. The colonies probably settled too close to denning sites or interrupted their territory." "Exactly," Liza nodded approvingly at her human colleague. "Apex hunters are incredibly loyal to their pack, but they're also highly territorial. The key is making sure they understand you're not a threat to their family unit." A brave Zephyrian, Cadet, his gas form shimmering with curiosity, asked, "How did your family join their pack?" Liza smiled, and for a moment there was something almost predatory in her expression that reminded everyone present exactly which death world humans called home. Same way humans have always made friends with apex predators. Patience, respect, and really good food. Mom's cooking could tame anything. "This changes everything," Commander Zexai muttered, frantically making notes on his data pad. "If humans can integrate with apex hunter packs, the implications for colonial expansion, for xenobiology studies?" "There's just one problem," Liza said, her tone carrying a warning that made the temperature in the room seem to drop several degrees. Rex, Luna, and Bear weren't pets. They were family, and humans don't take kindly to people who threaten their family, even the furry 9-foot-tall razor-clawed members. The room fell silent again as the implications sank in. The creature that had forced the evacuation of 3 colonies, that represented a Category 9 death world threat, that made hardened space marines retreat in terror, was essentially humanity's adopted dog. James watched his classmates' faces as they processed this information. He could practically see them recalculating every assumption they'd made about humans. After all, if this was the kind of creature humans considered family pets, what did that say about humanity itself? Commander Zexai cleared his throat, his composure slowly returning. "Well then, cadets, it appears we'll need to completely revise our xenobiology protocols." Class dismissed. As the other students filed out in stunned silence, Liza leaned back in her chair, a satisfied smile on her face. "You enjoyed that way too much," James observed. "Maybe," she admitted, "but wait until they find out about the time my cousin tried to ride a stellar worm." James groaned. It was going to be a long semester.